Hey there, I'm Curly, and welcome to Unfiltered and Undiscovered, the podcast where three music lifers dig into the songs, the stories, and the legends of music that may not have crossed your radar yet. But if you're new here, let me set the scene. I'm the punter, the guy who swears that the best music, the best Australian independent music, was in 1986. I've got the record collection to prove it. Now, joining me each week, I've got Braggy. He's a lifelong muso, a dreamer that's still waiting for that one song of his to go viral. He knows his stuff and he loves digging into lyrics. And of course, we've got Rossy, the roadie, the manager, and the guy with a story about every band that's ever plugged into a pub PA system anywhere from Perth to Parramatta. Together, we get unfiltered with the best undiscovered artists across Australia and occasionally the world. And occasionally, we also talk a whole lot of rubbish around artists that we already love. Let's get into it.
Hey y'all, I'm Alison Asarch from Nashville, Tennessee.
Hey, I'm Sean Fraser from the Ritzy Kids Hunters.
This is Johnny from Rail Motor.
Hey, it's Shane from Blind Season.
Hey, it's Rob Stanier, and you can check out my music on all the streaming platforms.
Check out my latest music on all the streaming sites.
Check out my debut album on all streaming platforms.
Check out our new debut album.
Check us out on Spotify and Apple Music. And you're listening to our friends, Braggy and Curly.
My favorite bands from Australia.
You're listening to our friends, Braggy, Rossy, and Curly
on the
Unfiltered and Undiscovered podcast.
Do it.
All right. Hey there, everyone. Welcome to, it's Curly here, and welcome to episode 215 of the Unfiltered and Undiscovered podcast. We are three old blokes with one obsession, and that's music that matters. We have unfiltered chats with undiscovered artists every week on the pod. It's guitars, grit, and there's good stuff that you are not going to hear on mainstream radio. This is Unfiltered and Undiscovered, and wherever you're listening or watching, please hit that like and subscribe button and share it with someone that needs some new music. Great show lined up for our first show of 2026. I still can't believe I'm saying 2026. Of course, we got Rossy from Sydney, who is off the back of some root canal surgery, so bear with us with Rossy tonight. He's sharp as usual, no doubt. And we've got Braggy.
No meds.
He's a man. We've got Braggy from Adelaide, and of course we've got our special guest Chris Matthews with us, and I'll introduce Chris in a little bit. So Braggy and Rossy, how was your? We'll start with Rossy. How was your Christmas New Year break?
I actually haven't done a lot, and I really enjoyed it. Well, yeah. When I say I haven't done a lot, I haven't done a lot outside the house. Yeah, I've been doing some engineering, some building and fixing and maintenance and repairing and building.
I like the blurred background, Rossy. What are you hiding?
Well, yeah, don't you worry about it. Greenland. I've got Greenland behind me.
Greenland.
Did they give you the gas? Did they give you the gas, Rossy?
No,
that's a classic. Rossy, was it the list of jobs from the your finance partner on the job on the fridge that kept you busy, or
no, mainly from the talent.
Oh,
working with the talent, And actually, I've been in the studio working on a new Jupiter 5 album, so that's been taking up a bit of time as well.
Cool.
Nice, can't wait to hear that.
And Braggy, how was your Chrissy New Year break?
Very good. We always have a million guests. We have 20 people for Boxing Day. It's like a tradition. Yeah, it's mad. So that was fun. And we went to the cricket on New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
Went to the T20.
Did the Strikers win?
Yes, they did.
Oh.
Yes, they did. We were actually in a suite.
Oh, we like
connections.
that.
Got a few connections, so it was pretty good.
I've been lucky enough a couple of times to get into the cricket ground in a catered box, and it's like I feel like a class trader.
Yeah. Well, I had all my muso mates there with me, so we all felt a bit like that.
Yeah,
good man. What a beautiful ground Adelaide Oval is.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Adelaide's
mate.
just so beautiful, mate.
Much better than Sydney Cricket Ground.
Yeah.
It's just
okay, sure.
And finally, it looks like we've got a test match on our hands, Braggy.
5 days.
Yeah.
I see tomorrow they're charging $30 to get in tomorrow, and the whole lot goes to the McGrath Foundation.
That's pretty cool.
How cool is that?
But there's been some batting finally. Guys keeping their head down, playing a bit of test batting, which has been nice.
Well, the best pitch is the best pitch so far, Rossy. Well done.
No spinners.
Well done to Sydney.
But batting fourth is going to be an issue, I reckon. But anyway, let's have a chat about some music, shall we?
Okay.
It's my pleasure. You may remember I spoke on an earlier podcast just before Christmas. I'd been to the Tom Curtin show at Victory Pocket, And on the artist list was this gentleman called Chris Matthews, the fellow from Kununurra. There's many ways that you can describe him. He's a storyteller. He's a unique guitarist. He's got extraordinary ability. I remember him purely because of his chant of bringing back the mandolin. So I thought anyone who's brave enough to stand there and say, bring back the mandolin, deserves to come on the show and have a bit of a chat. So welcome to the show, Chris Matthews. How are you, Chris?
I am exceptionally well, and hello, fellas, and everyone tuning in.
Chris, I usually started off with finding out when music first became a part in your life. But I'm going to make it a two-part.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you that same question: how music came into your life, and just by listening to some of your stuff today, has it always been country for you, or were you a bit of a rocker?
Well, that came up a bit too.
Yes. I'm a metalhead at heart, and that was what got me into music. So my sister had a boyfriend, so I must have been 13. She must have been 16. And he played guitar, and he was in a band in Perth, because I'm a WA fella, called Detritus, something like that. But anyway, he showed me how to play. I remember it as being the ad for Omo washing powder. I think it's a song called Peter Gunn.
Yeah.
The theme from Peter Gunn.
Yeah, the theme from Peter Gunn. I didn't know that at the time. I just knew it as the Omo music ad. And he taught me how to play that, which is a one finger thing on the guitar, which is great. And straight away I fell in love with the guitar, and I've just never looked back. I was just like, I reckon there's something here I can do something with. And so I was 13 at the time, and I'm 43 now. So 30 years later, here we are.
Wow.
Yeah. You know the theme from Peter Gunn, firstly, Henry Mancini, of course.
Yes. Henry Mancini. Oh, lovely. Yes.
Henry
Incredible.
Mancini. But for Curly, Voodoo Lust used to open with that song.
They did
and they would use it as a sound check. The drummer, they wouldn't sound check. The drummer would come out and start playing the beat. Then the bass player would come in playing the riff. The guitar player would do it. So then all of a sudden, in the first 3 minutes of the show, we had a sound check using the theme from Peter Gunn.
Done.
And I always loved that.
I was just thinking, Rossy, it's a much cooler thing to learn first than Smoke on the Water, which is what most people.
Well, it's a lot easier.
It's not too unlike it, really.
and they teach you Smoke on the Water wrong anyway when they teach it to
you.
They
do.
That's exactly right.
Then you figure it out later and you're like, hang on a second.
Okay. Can I dive into that? I've got no idea what you're talking about. So you learn Smoke on the Water wrong. How is that? How does that happen?
So everyone teaches it to you on the low E string, on one string, basically. And that's not how you play it. It's played on two strings, the fourth and the fifth string. Yeah,
whatever. Played on the fifth.
Inverted power chords.
It's lovely.
Bloody lovely. Style. Yeah, well done. Look, now we've completely alienated Curly.
Inverted power chords, Curly. They don't do those on the banjo, mate.
No, but you can do them on the banjo, though.
On the mandolin. You can do them on the mandolin.
You can, without a doubt.
So Chriso, with your style, so it's you what is it called? Guitar picking. It's very
chicken picking.
Yeah. So how did that come about? So you've got this heavy metal influence. You've learned Peter Gunn, and then what you're known for now is this finger picking style of guitar, mandolin.
12 string.
12 string, 6 string, mandolin, banjo, lap steel. I'll give anything with strings a crack, basically. And when I was 17, I blew up my guitar amplifier. Couldn't afford another one. Couldn't afford another one at the time because.
What was the amp you had? What was the amp?
It was a Trace Elliott Brat model. I think it was about 30 watts of pure power.
Yeah, I remember that.
Amazing. Solid state all the way. You know, it gave the classic sort of Cowboys from Hell Pantera sort of vibe. Just brilliant. Yep. So, and I actually had a Dimebag Darrell Washburn series guitar at the time. But flying Y with the lightning bolts, that's a whole other story. But blew up my guitar amp, couldn't afford another one, and so I just picked up my shitty old acoustic that I learnt on originally, and and at that time I got taken to see Jeff Lang play. I don't know if you guys know Jeff Lang or not.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we do. Great blues guy. Great voice, too, by the way.
Oh, my God. And he just had an acoustic guitar, and he blew my 17-year-old mind. And I was like, you can do that with an acoustic and one guy on stage rather than having to have a whole band. And I was like, that felt like it was a whole band. It was amazing. So I was like, well, if he can do it, why can't someone else do it? You know what I mean? And so I guess what I do now is my bastardized version of being a 17-year-old and seeing Jeff Lang just tear my heart a new one at the Perth Blues Club at the Charles Hotel. Yeah.
Guitar's one thing, man. Your voice is pretty powerhouse too, I will say. Got a big voice.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, man. I don't really rate myself as a singer at all.
No one ever does, mate. No one does.
But I think I
Yeah,
can
you got it
say
going
I sound like me. I don't sound like anyone else. So if I can do
Big-
that, that'll do.
So big set of pipes.
So how do you get then, Chris, from your the Perth Blues Club, and to Kununurra to more sort of country? It's not really country though. It is, but it's
It's storytelling. It's
once
like,
again
it's
we're in that northern Western Australian.
I am. Yeah.
It is.
Thing that's happening. You know.
So I moved to Kununurra when I was 20. Yeah, I was 20 years old. And it was my first tour of Australia that I was on. And I grew up in the southwest of WA, which is just a stunning little place to grow up, and so isolated back then in the 80s and 90s, it feels like, But then I got to Kununurra, and that even felt even more isolated. And I was on a tour at the time, but I left pretty much everything I had with me there at a mate's house, who I just ran into randomly when I was there. I was like, I know you from when I was 14. And he's like, yeah, I live here in Kununurra. So I was like, cool, this place rocks. I'll leave some stuff here at your joint. I'll finish off this tour. I'll get back eventually. And I got back about a year and a half later, and as you do. But then build a house there and all that sort of fun stuff, and have loved it ever since. And
Was it a musical tour or just a travel?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, for sure. So that was with the Australian Songwriters Association way back when, and that was an incredible adventure with those guys. But yeah, Kununurra just got into my bones, and I'm not sure if you guys have been there, if any of the viewers have been up there, but it's in the middle of nowhere, and it's big sky country with vast distances between everywhere. And I'm a country fella, and that country just got into my heart, and that is what sort of developed my love of storytelling and songwriting more than trying to be the guitar dude. Even though I love guitar and shredding, and whether it be a metal riff or a Jimi Hendrix thing or a flat out classical piece, whatever it might be, the country of that part of the world basically dictated where my songwriting went. And I guess that's the storytelling, the songline aspect of Australian songwriting,
I saw the word troubadour pop up, which is and like it is, mate. It is like the story. The stories are strong, and they're like I thought that the Kimberley tourism region should have been putting you on a retainer because you made me feel like I wanted to go up there when I started.
my mum will agree with me. You agree with you. She's always telling me that. Funnily enough. So.
It was interesting, Chris, and when I met you at Tom Curtin's show, and this is one of the things that really captured me, is that you were the one that put the wristband on my hand when I've come in. So
I remember your shirts. You were wearing the
shout out to the boys.
Yes.
Yeah. So it was so you get this whole sense of camaraderie and all belonging. So Melanie's doing stuff. That you've got Laura and Tom in behind the merch. You've got you out there welcoming people. You've got Laura's husband out there doing the social media stuff.
Taking his photos, yep.
And I remember talking to Tom, and I said, who's on the gig tonight? I honestly didn't know you. And he said, Chris Matthews. He's and I'm not quite sure. I can't remember how he described you. But it was almost like he said, you were this guy that wandered Australia doing gigs and odd jobs, and he's just thrown you in the back of the trailer, and you just come on tour with him now.
Yeah, that's not far from the truth, to be honest with you, Curly. When I started touring Australia, like I said before, when I was 20, and even though I live in Kununurra, I still didn't really stop there for any longer than sort of 6 months at a time. So I've done about 40 laps of Australia with all my touring in the last 25 years, which has been phenomenal. So when Tom asked me to come on the tour with him 7 years ago, I was like, cool, man, no worries, because I was already been touring Australia for 18 years by that stage.
It harks back to the you're putting on wristbands. Everyone's working. It harks back to the Fitzpatrick family, doesn't it? It's like
mate, exactly. It's the Slim Dusty traveling review show. Like, I mean, he used to go there with comedians and MCs and some performing dogs, set up on the back of a flatbed truck, and off you'd go. And Tom and I have that same philosophy of like, well, one in, all in. I mean, when I joined Tom, I gave him 2 rules, and I said, dude, I don't ride horses, even though my dad was a horse breaker and my auntie was a show jumper. But I also don't babysit kids. Apart from that, I'll do anything. And that is pretty much the case with all of us, with Laura and Nick and Mel and whoever's been on tour with us. It's just like, well, let's get this done and put on the best show we can for the people who are coming along, because that's what it's all about. No?
I toured with a mate who used to say, I don't do drums and I don't do windows.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that makes I can understand both of them.
It's such an Australian, well, it's probably not an Australian thing, but I get that sense of like almost like the old Brophy boxing tent that travelled around as well. Just
yes. Yep, absolutely.
That sort of feel.
So, Tommy Sharman's boxes.
I remember
it's no better if you win.
Townsville showgrounds in Townsville. My dad took me there when I was real young. It It was Sharman's, I think, then.
Yeah, yep.
And where it was in the showgrounds was right across from the beer tent. Can you imagine?
Oh, gee. I've had half enough of scooters. I reckon I can go take those.
I'll have a crack at that.
I was just
That's exactly what they do.
I was just a little kid, man. My eyes were just like, oh.
Well, that reminds me of a gig I did in Catherine one day. Speaking of where Tom Curtin is from, for example, and I rocked up to do a gig in Catherine, and the manager said, "Yeah, cool, mate. Just so you know, we've got the Catherine Tough Man boxing competition on first. You can go on after. You can go on after that."
Did you open up the ballot? Did you?
And I was just like, "What do I do here?" And I said, "Oh, do you mind if I set up in the middle of the boxing ring and just tell everyone to stay out?" And he's like, "Go for your life." So that's what I did, and I survived. So
wow,
into the belly of the
It's
beast,
doable.
mate. Take it on. Take it on.
So what's the craziest place you've ever played then? Like, speaking of things like or the furthest you've been,
Man, well, yeah, I mean, 25 years of touring Australia, and I started when there was no mobile receptions. There wasn't even mobile phones back then.
I know.
So, and Australia was 25 years ago a pretty of a wilder place, I guess you could say, particularly WA in particular.
It would have been.
And like, yeah, I mean, I've got a lot of things I could mention, but probably would get in trouble for.
We don't get legal.
Yeah, but like, man, the things you mainly remember are like, I mean, not the gigs, but more the things that happened in between them. And I remember being like stuck on the side of a highway for 2.5 days until another car came along.
Wow.
The first car in 2.5 days after doing a gig at a place called Useless Loop. Which is Useless Loop. What a great name for a place. And on the far western side of WA near Shark Bay and Steep Point, the most western point of WA, is a mining town called Useless Loop. They got me out there for a gig. I broke down after the gig after I'd driven out of there, and no one came along for 2.5 days. So like stuff like that is what I more remember than the gigs, because I just remember. I mean, music is always amazing, so it's the funny stuff in between you remember.
Yeah,
So-
yes, that is the story, isn't it? The stories of the road. It's the people you meet, the adventures you have that kind of like I've got all those guys. You talk to them about it. You go like, remember that time that the truck driver got picked up in Goulburn and we were stuck on the side of the road for 3 hours?
Oh, mate, and I've got a million of those stories, and I don't think it's not even a music thing, like it doesn't matter what you do in life, it's the people you do it with. That's what happens along the way that makes all the difference. That's why I love touring with Tom, for example, because it's just like, right, let's see what happens here, you know what I mean? And so I love music, but if you didn't do it with great people, then you'd get sick of it. You know, it's who you do it with that matters and what happens.
It sounds like it'd be fun to me. I reckon I'd have a good time traveling to these blokes.
Yeah, well, if we're not having a good time, then no one we're going to be playing is going to have a good time, you know?
Right.
And it's our job as musos, even though we take it seriously, is to not take it seriously, you know? Like, give people the night off for 3 hours and they can just go, that was great. Anyway, what was going on with my life? I can't remember because those guys took my mind off it. So that is what it's all about.
Yeah, absolutely.
So your song, like I know, like you have an off season where you're not touring and you have to go and do a real job too?
No, not at all.
That's fantastic.
You're a single man then, Chris.
Fantastic.
you're a very astute fella there, Braggy. I tell you. No, yeah, I mean, I've been single pretty much my whole life. That's just because I love what I do, and I've never felt the urge to change that. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, I've had some beautiful partners along the way, but
special
music and traveling, I just love it. You know, I mean, you can't do 40 laps of Australia in 25 years,
man,
and not love it.
It's freedom. That's what it is.
What did a friend of mine who is quite an astute lady, she said to me a while back, she's like, Chris, she said, you have foregone the possibility of pleasure in a relationship for the certainty of peace in being single, which I thought was very profound.
Man,
there's a song there.
Have you got that line in one of your songs?
Oh, well, I can remember it. You know, I was just like, wow, that was very profound of you. Thank you very much, I guess.
So let's talk a little bit about some of your songs, Chris, because I'm seeing a lot of the philosophies that you have in your songs. So a little bit Long Way, I'm presuming, is about the absolute hugeness and vastness of Australia, but it's not so. You almost downplay it a little bit in that song as well, which I like.
Yes.
But you can't buy it back. It's just that whole philosophy of that freedom and the realization that I'm putting up with a 9-to-5 job. I'm stressed. I'm pissed off, and I'm wasting time.
Yep. I mean.
Feels like I'm working my youth away. Well, I don't like my job, just do it for the pay. Earning more in a month than some make in a year. But I'm tired and I'm angry and I can't shake the fear that I'm going nowhere 2 weeks at a time. I'm just a cog on the assembly line. And all the time that I'm spending doing something I hate for the cash, well, I'm starting to learn that you can't buy it back. You can't buy it back. No, you can't buy it back.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, that song was based directly on a fella I met when I was touring up the West Coast one year. That is his story, pretty much word for word as he said it to me. But I left out all the identifying details, as you should do as a songwriter, I think. But yeah, I mean, that is also my philosophy in life. You know, we're here for whatever amount of time that is, and you may as well enjoy it, I think. And you guys would know this as, you know, appreciators of music and people who love music. You end up in incredible situations with music where you meet people from every walk of life who you wouldn't normally do in your own normal circles, because music is one of those things that just drags everyone together. And so you get to hear everyone's point of view, everyone's perspective, everyone's opinion, good, bad, indifferent, whatever. But one thing I've seemed to have noticed is that most people don't remember how much money they made. They remember how much they made an effect on people. So that song was basically like me trying to say, well, here's a story. Maybe cash isn't everything. Maybe you should do what you love and affect the people around you in a positive way, and maybe doing something you don't like for money might not achieve that, you know?
Was that the subject of that song? Was he an FIFO worker?
He was a FIFO worker, yeah. He was from,
Yeah.
He was in Karratha, that fella.
Yeah, I thought, it struck me that, like those guys who live that sort of life, you'd end up playing to those sort of guys here and there, wouldn't you?
Yeah, well, back in the day, I did, being a WA fellow when the first sort of big iron ore boom was on in the early 2000s, sort of 2006 to 2011. And I mean, you could go and play in the Pilbara region, you know, for like do a 2-week stint, do like 16, 18 shows in those 2 weeks and get paid a fortune for it. Man, they were soulless gigs. Holy hell, because you were the only person who was not wearing high vis, you know what I mean?
Wow.
Right.
And you'd go into the mining site, Wet Mess, or the pub in Dampier or whatever it might be, and everyone would turn and look at you because you weren't in high vis, you know? And it's pretty rare to see a woman, you know?
Did we have a bloke talk to us about who's the bloke who pulled the barmaid and everyone was dirty on him?
Oh, yeah. I know that song. I do know that song.
You know that story too, I bet.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've seen it happen. Yeah, the local fellas don't really like it when you rock into town sometimes and, you know, the pickings are slim and they're like, hey.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they're pretty territorial.
Braggy, I've got to ask, mate,
Yes.
which is the song that you grabbed you, because you
which
love
do you
it.
reckon?
You love it.
Which do you think?
I'm gonna say sometimes it's good.
Yeah, but not for the reasons you think.
Not for the reasons you think. Okay.
No, you're going to think I just like it because sometimes it's good to be stoned and alone, aren't you?
No. I like
there's
better
the lines in it than that.
Yeah, I like the space in the song, but I also like how it's been censored. So you've really got to listen to sometimes it's good, and then you sort of got to put your ear to it and say, what is it? What was that bit? So I like that. I like that intrigue. So Braggy, what did you like about it?
So for the listeners, I'll tell you some of the lyrics in this, which is really good. And there's the ones that'll get you straight away. Like the first line, just sometimes it's good to be stoned alone. I know that feeling very well.
So do I.
Sometimes you find wisdom and wealth in the puke. That is really good.
We've all been there, haven't we?
But I think on a more and they're kind of jokey, funny things along with if we fuck like we fight, the battle's already won. That's great as well. But I reckon the best one is sometimes you leave things behind, and friends come and go, but the best ones don't mind. I love that one. That's so true. I know that in my life. Some people I haven't got to talk to forever, and they don't care. They're not phoning me saying, "What's the matter? Don't you want to talk to me?" Just rock up again. I really love that, because that is really what true friendship is about.
Man, well, I mean, thank you for noticing that line, and thank you for paying attention to that song. I'm always blown away when people.
Well, it had a little E next to it, so I'm always going to grab a taste of that.
Well, man, and that is the only song I've ever sworn in on record.
Yeah.
And obviously because of that line, if we fuck like we fight, and there was no other way I could say it. I was like, you know, we could make love like we fight just does not sound the same as like if we fuck like we fight, you know.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
swear words.
Tell me how it is, mate.
You know, sometimes you got to use them to get the point across.
Well, especially if you play it in the mining site, mate. No one's, you know.
Well,
Yeah.
The other side,
Sometimes it's good to be stoned and alone on Big Sky Country or the backyard at home. You're grinning like a shot fox, a staffy with a bone. Sometimes it's good to be stoned and alone. Sometimes it's good to get drunk by yourself. You know what you're doing ain't good for your health. Sometimes in the puke you find wisdom and wealth. Sometimes it's good to get drunk by yourself.
The other side, Curly, that I liked it, although if I could just continue on, was keeping up with time, because there's a line in there that really interests me that I'd like to ask you about, and that is tradition is just peer pressure from people no longer around.
Yep.
So that something that comes from some experience. It must. Someone saying something to you.
I remember. No, I don't remember where that came from. I remember writing it. I definitely remember writing it. I was at a friend of mine's place in Perth, and that song had taken place and was starting to come together, and I got stuck on the lyrics. So I just went for a walk around his neighborhood and came back 3.5 hours later with those lyrics sort of nutted out in my head. And I've always just been a firm believer in, like, who cares what other people are doing? Just run your own race band, and if it works for you, awesome, you know. And as long as you're not intentionally hurting people along the way, then who cares? So I guess exactly. Because that's all tradition is, in my opinion. You know, is just peer pressure from people who aren't here anymore. You know, and if it's not a tradition, if it ain't a tradition that suits you, then why do you have to continue it? But I know sentimentality and all that sort of stuff is a beautiful thing. Don't get me wrong, but just do your own thing at the same time.
But you would get that a lot in country, you know, especially from a lot of the older guys. Well, that's not country. Like,
and I don't care.
I'm from the country, and I'm singing my song, and I say it is country.
I don't. But like Braggy, I really don't care. Like, music is
good.
Just like we all love music, we all love it for different reasons. My favorite song in the world is someone else's most hated song in the world, and I love that about music. And the best thing about it is we're all right. You know,
all right. Wrong. There's no rules.
So there's no rules. So if someone, I'd much rather someone listen to what I do and say, "Hey man, I hate your stuff," and it's not country, or it's not this, or it's not that, than listen to it and go, "Hey, that made me feel nothing whatsoever." You know?
Any reaction is a good reaction.
No, not even. It's not even about that. Just art should stir an emotion, and if it can stir any emotion, that's good. So, but if what you're doing is beige and doesn't stir an emotion, then what's the point? So,
there's no honesty in it. If it's beige, there's no honesty in what you're doing.
It's interesting, Chris.
The only thing that should be beige should be Richie Benno, the SCG boys.
Yes, or off-white.
That's it. The bone, the beige, the ivory, the bone, the off-white,
and the cream. I was driving home listening to some of your stuff today, and because I am a 9 to 5, and you know, but I love what I do. But I was driving home, and I'm thinking to myself, how do you, like, everyone's got this niche that they've got to fit into. We've got artists that come on and say we're fresh country, we're old country, we're this, we're that, and you know, that's great, and it gives us something to work with, because as we've discovered, old country is like traditional country now. So. But
that's right.
I found it.
Johnny Cash is old country now.
He is now.
So I found it really hard to say, where does Chris fit in? Because especially when, and I know where Braggy coming from with the rocker thing, Keep a Little Hope rocks out, my friend.
It does, yeah.
It does. And so do you have a genre that you think this is me, or does it just flow and whatever comes out, comes out?
Pretty much, Curly. That's what happens. I just love music, and I don't care about genre or anything like that. I've always just loved music. So when I write music, I just write music. I don't really think about it. But basically, like, sometimes I'll pick up the electric and plug it into an amp and just start riffing metal. You know, other times I'll pick up the mandolin and I'll practice my Bach violin concertos because I love that sort of stuff on the mandolin. Other times I'll pick up a 6-string acoustic and just write a strummer, singer-songwriter song, and I just love it all. So, that album that you're talking about that those songs are off is called Buckle Up for a reason, because it starts somewhere and goes a lot of other places along the way. And I guess that album was me going, hey, here's a rock and roll song, here's a 6/8 ballad, here's an 80s power ballad, here's a bluegrass song, here's a metal punk song, which it finishes with, which I love. I love those sort of albums.
Yeah, I like that riff at the end,
Yeah, I'm sorry, Sack of Bones, but what I found after putting that album out was that it confuses people, and most people don't have the same sort of like ability to be able to, or just and I get it, like the ability to start somewhere on an album and like go a million different places along the way.
A lot of musicians have, with all due respect, a lot of musicians have that have a touch of ADD, OCD, all that sort of stuff. They're all over the place, right? But you listen to like you haven't listened to stuff like A Little Bit Long Way, and you're leaning into power chords on the acoustic, right?
Oh yeah,
and I'm digging it. Like, but then the finger picking over the top adds that melody, and it's beautiful. Like you know, like but you can feel it's like on the one, and you're leaning into it, and you mean it, and like
you got to mean it. You got to mean it, Rossy. You know.
I tell you what I like about Keep a Little Hope, Curly, is it's got a freaking piano solo in it.
And how good is it too?
I love it.
Is that you? You doing the piano?
I wish I could play the piano. That is a great mate of mine, Vaughan Jones, who's a phenomenal keys player. And I just
you don't hear that often anymore. A piano.
No, and I love the 70s. That's one of my favorite eras of music because it's just so amazing. And there's so many great keyboard solos and piano solos from the 70s. And obviously that's just a rock and roll song, you know what I mean? Eat your heart out, like straight out. No Motown rock and roll. And I was like, well, it clearly needs a classic stride sort of piano barroom keyboard solo.
But it's got a great message to it. And I've got to say, Sorry Sack of Bones is such a country sort of a colloquial
country metal, I guess you'd call that song, wouldn't you? So
country metal, there you go. There's another genre.
There's a genre.
Like your shirt, Rossy, that was actually inspired by my love of the Cramps, and
their tribal, swampy. It's that swampy sort of deep south stuff, right?
Yeah. And I just you could hit. I wrote that song on an acoustic guitar. You know what I mean? Like, and I was just like, that works, cool. So, and it's just like, let's see if we can turn that into a weird ass Western barroom brawl. Whatever it might be, spaghetti Western metal song, you know.
I love a spaghetti Western too, which is probably where Peter Gunn kind of has got that single note because it's Dwayne Eddy playing on that, right?
Is that really? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
awesome.
But that spaghetti Western stuff, you know, like I just.
I love my Ennio Morricone stuff, and obviously all that sort of bits and pieces.
I do too.
Tremoloed guitar with delay is just like
Peter Gunn's more of a Pulp Fiction sort of feel to it.
It is. Mind you, like. I don't know if you've ever played with many baritone guitars, but when you start going down that path, it's like when you pick up a baritone guitar and you just go, "Oh, hang on, this is what this does." You didn't know how they got that sound, right?
Yeah, so beautiful. Yep.
Or if you're Brian Setzer, he just detunes that bottom string. You've seen him do that. Brian Setzer just detunes it and goes right down to the baritone.
I got myself in trouble.
We're talking about Curly.
I got myself into a lot of trouble as a guitar tech doing baritone guitars one day. I got, can't make this fucking thing get in. Can't make this thing fucking get in. So I was an idiot.
Bloody lyrics too. Sorry, you go, Curly.
No, you're right.
I was going to say,
I'll come back.
Some of them are really related to me, and I know I'm older. You're in your 40s, yeah, Chris?
Me, yeah, I'm 43 now. Yeah,
43. Okay, so I've got a few years on you, but
you look like a spring chicken.
Thank you.
I was 43 years ago. I was touring Queensland. Just saying.
Okay, Rossy, you win the oldest.
No, I'm still about winning.
One of the things that struck me is this line, because I just love lyrics. That's the thing. That
good man.
Boys always love you.
We love you.
In Neighborhood Kids, and that's just and I love the clip for that as well because it just reminds me of growing up in Townsville, you know. And just out in the burbs, and it's I think it's an early line where you say everything was easy, having so much fun, like everything was easy, so much fun hanging out, and
Ataris, yes.
Atari.
Mate,
I had an Atari. I had the white Atari.
You had a white one. Wow, I didn't know that.
Oh, it's a very early. Was it like one of the early music
Great.
computers too?
Yeah, it was like a
Remember that,
off-white
Rossy?
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
That was
Just
my
before the
first computer
Commodores.
game console, the Atari, and oh my god, I loved it. I reckon
I
if I
am-
went up today, I'd still be like, yes, one lever and one button. What else do you need?
Playing that Hyperolympics game, just going bang, 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 button mashing. Yeah, let's go.
I envied all the kids who had an Atari because we did not have one. So I
Sorry,
envied-
Kelly.
Yeah,
Kelly grew up in a hole in the road.
My first, sadly, was a Hanamix.
Don't even know what that one is.
I
I'm
don't know what
afraid.
that is, mate.
They used to make film, didn't they, or
Yeah,
cameras?
they
or,
did. I think we got it from the pharmacy up the road.
Chris, one of the songs I really like, and I saw it. I think you played it at the show, and I saw it on YouTube. It's "The Old Man's Shed."
Oh yes.
Oh,
It's just such a. There's comedy in there. There's a little bit of that. We've all lost people in our lives, and I lost my dad back in '87, and just that whole concept of you'll know what to do with the ashes, and the concept of tipping out the screws and just putting him in there and then putting him in his place in the shed. It's such a great little song.
That is such a beautiful song, and that was written by two beautiful mates of mine, Luke O'Shea, who you may know, and John Krizulja, two incredible mates of mine, and they wrote that. And Luke rang me up straight after they'd written it, and he said, "Mate, I've got a song. You've got to hear it." I was like, "Yeah, cool." He's like, "No, right now." And he put down the phone and just started playing, so I just sat there and listened. And he picked up the phone after he finished it. And he's like, "What do you reckon?" I'm like, "Play it again. Just play that again." Yeah. I was like, so he played it again. And I was like, "Are you kidding me? That is one of the greatest songs I've ever heard in my life, I think." Yeah, and it was still like, it still needed a bit of tweaking. There was still a few things I hadn't quite figured out, but I could already tell that was going to be one of the best songs I've ever heard in my life. Yeah. So after they'd sort of nutted it out, I was like, just send me, because I've got to start playing that song and letting people hear that story. And I put it out as a secret track as well on one of my albums, because I think it's such a beautiful song. Yeah.
Yeah. And the subtle.
Well, that man could build the Taj Mahal from nails, clamps and glue. And if something ever broke, well, he knew exactly what to do. I would watch him at his workbench in a state of grace. Yes, and everything he touched, it was meticulously placed. Cause there were ropes and there were ladders, there were brushes, there were leads, and a poster on the fridge when the Dragons won in '63. I would try to borrow something and leave without a trace. But every tool had an outline, cause everything must have its place. Well, he tried to educate me, but I never quite could see, cause he had so many chisels. How many chisels do you need? With all these nuts and bolts and washers, there is nothing he would waste. Yes, in my old man's shed, everything must have its place.
Yeah. And the subtle little reference to the Dragons' '63 premiership is very much appreciated.
That's right. You'll have to thank. You can thank Luke O'Shea for that one. So
Luke O'Shea, thank you very much for that.
So, someone who grew up in the St George.
Hey, Rossy,
we did hear about them winning 11 in a row a couple of times.
I'm a WA person, so rugby doesn't exist.
Rossi, it's been longer since the Dragons won a premiership than England won a test.
Ooh, that hurts. Wow. Look out.
So Chris, are you writing music while you're on the road with Tom?
Yes. I always try and write songs. Sometimes it ebbs, sometimes it flows.
Sure.
So I haven't put out an album for 2.5 years, but I've almost finished the next one, which I'm really looking forward to putting out. And they're a batch of songs that I wrote, all of them in 3.5 months, and they all seem to just fit beautifully together as a good batch of songs. So that'll start coming out in about 6 weeks, 2 months' time. Okay. First song off that. I've also finished a singer-songwriter EP that's ready to rock and roll, 5 songs on that one. I've done an instrumental EP, and that's ready to go as well.
Oh,
so
wow.
That's me playing mandolin, banjo, lap steel, guitar, double bass, everything. And the metal album is nearly done too. So I've got.
We're going to get you back onto that.
You're going to come back by that.
So I have four very different projects on the go so that's sort of like my 4 styles of writing I've figured out.
Wow.
Like the band country stuff, the singer-songwritery slower stuff, the instrumental, bluegrassy, classical stuff, and the metal stuff. So I guess that's what you'd call my style of music. So you'll start hearing a bit of all of that this year. I was about to say next year, but it's this year.
Wow.
So yeah, always trying to write and trying to come up with fun stuff because that's what it's about.
So stories about life on the road with Tom Curtin.
Yeah, and just touring in general and everything.
Yeah.
What would you like?
Yeah, so just from a songwriting perspective, you're probably meeting so many people at out in the country and whatnot. Is that part of what you're writing about, or is it just your own experiences?
Yeah, that's a tough one to answer, Kelly. I don't sit down and go, I'm going to write a song about a dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's not the way I write. I'll hear something in passing, or a thought will pop into my head while I'm driving along. And I'll be like, oh, that could sing well. I like the concept. I like the idea. It might sing well too. So for me, songwriting comes from anywhere and everywhere. I don't try and write a song about anything in particular. It's just whatever I feel strongly about. Yeah. That's for my songs anyway. Yeah.
Does it always come from a lyric, Chris, or does it come obviously sometimes it must come from a guitar riff or a chord sequence or something that you
most definitely. Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, just anything, everything. Sometimes it's a few words. Sometimes you just hear a melody in your head and you're like, oh, that's a couple of nice things. Maybe I'll do something with that. And sometimes just nutting around on the guitar, which I'm always doing. You're like, that's a good progression, good couple of chords. And then the good ones for me anyway, just stick, and I don't have to record and remember them. I always just remember them.
Yeah.
The bad ones you don't seem to remember. So whatever it is just seems to work for me. Yeah.
It's weird how they come. I know sometimes they come. Once for me, I was driving a van. I was doing deliveries, and then a riff comes into your head. You got no guitar, nothing. You just have to keep singing that thing over and over in your head.
Yeah.
Get your phone out and sing it into your phone, so you don't.
Yeah,
exactly.
But that's what traveling does. Like you're on a train, you're in a car. I remember I worked for a while. Worked at a book bindery, and the rhythm of the machines, the industrial machines, and that's where a lot of the work of music came from. The sound of the machines, the sound of the environment that you're living in, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, I was interested because you've got all those albums, you've been recording and stuff. What's your process? Do you go and do it yourself? Do you play everything, or do you bring people in? And how does it work for you?
So yeah, I mean, I do a bit of everything in that regard. So like all my last few albums are recorded in studios, bringing in the people, doing it all there, and mixing it all in the studio. The next few ones are a bit different. Sorry, there's a train going past. I'm not sure if you'll be able to hear it, but anyway.
Write a song.
That's it. So like the instrumental EP I recorded in a rainforest cottage up in Port Douglas, which is stunning. But you can hear the rain and the wind, and the birds and stuff like that. But that was kind of the idea of it.
Yeah.
The band album that I'm recording at the moment, which will start coming out very shortly, is stuff that I've written on the road. Recorded on the road like I'm doing now into a microphone. You can hear a train going past, for example. So I've recorded a lot of the acoustic guitars and electric guitars and basses here and sent them off to my drummer, who's then recorded drums to them.
Nice.
In a proper studio.
Give him a click?
Yeah, I'll give him a click and a tempo. Yep. So
cool.
He knows what he's doing. So then he sends me the drum tracks back, and then I re-record everything over the top of them. So, and anything that I can't play, I've sent away to get done by people who can, like the piano. And
it's the modern way. It's the modern way of doing it. It's the new way.
Well, it's a really fun way because it means you're not when you're touring like I do, which is like 10 months of the year, it can be really hard to find time to go into a studio. So you just do it where you can, and technology is so amazing these days.
Yeah.
You can capture what you need to capture with a good microphone, a decent interface, and a laptop. And then you can go, once you've got everything recorded, everything's sounding good, I don't want to nothing else needs adding to this, then you can go to a studio, plug it into their gear and go, mix that for me. Done. Yeah. Thanks.
Guys I work with know beyond belief that I would rather cut my own hand off than spend more time in the studio than I have to. I can't wait to get out of there fast enough. I just hate it. I hate it.
I love the studio, but you've still got to capture a performance. That's what it's all about.
I like to be there for the mix. I don't want to see people tracking. Don't care.
No, it's just like, unless you're so involved in the song that you have to go, no, that wasn't it. Like, it doesn't matter, does it?
No, it doesn't.
So, and anyone I send a song to, they'll just send me back like 3 or 4 different takes, and I'll go, yep, that bit was cool, that bit wasn't, that bit was.
Cut, bang.
Cut them together, send it back to them, and go, do something like that. And then they'll send me back, something like 3 takes of that, and I'll just put one of them on there. You know.
So it sounds
Rossy-
like you're also you're on the modern path as well with like you're dropping singles before you do the bigger body.
Yeah, man, I'm a lover of albums, as I know you boys most definitely would be. That is not the way the modern world works. Also, recording in a studio is so expensive, which is why I'm doing it this way now, and you don't get any return on that these days because no one buys your album as such. They just stream it. So, yeah, you just have to maximize what you can get out of any album. So you just put out a lot of singles first, and away you go from there.
The music's not the commodity anymore, is it?
No, it's a business card.
Yeah, that's right. It's the merch, and it's the tickets. It's the
recorded songs are a business card now. Basically, you go, this is what I do. Yeah.
Interesting way to put it. Very much so. Rossi, you sounded like a grumpy old man before.
When? Which time?
Talking
In the
about
studio?
the studio.
Oh, fuck, I hate it. I get in there and people are fucking around. I'm going, man, like, hadn't you thought about this before you fucking got here?
Just play the song, man. Do a good job. 3 takes and you're done. Get out.
I will do 2 takes. If they get 2 takes out of me, they're lucky.
Yeah, but you're a bass player.
Yeah, exactly. I don't even end up in the mix.
That's right. You know what? We talked about songwriting before. I just had this thought. You know what's it's really interesting the way the journey a song goes on from the spark, you know, to where it ends up as a music video or as a thing, you know, because they take twists and turns. You play them live, you go, that doesn't fucking work. I got to do that. Someone else says, why don't you do that there? And you go, no, I'm not doing that. Or you go, that's a fucking great idea, and it changes slightly, you know.
Most definitely.
I reckon that's another show, Curly, like the journey of a song.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing where songs start and where they end up sometimes. Sometimes they fall out fully formed and you go, I don't need to do anything else with that. Other times they hang around for years and get ripped apart into spare parts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
different keys, different terms.
I mean, I wrote a song 16 years ago, I reckon, that I didn't really like, but I somehow remembered the guitar parts for, and I've just taken a guitar part from that and put it in a brand new song on the next album.
I love it. See, there you go. That's another story.
That's how long songs can take sometimes.
Yeah. I've got a great songwriter mate of mine who puts everything on his phone, and he says when he's at a loss, he just goes back to the phone and plunders it, then he feels like he's ripping himself off.
Yep.
Yeah, I do that.
Nothing wrong with plagiarizing yourself.
That's right, but it's the modern world. It's the modern world. You seem to be a man of the current world. Yeah.
I'm just cruising around doing what I do, the best that I can.
do you have anyone that's close to you that you will bounce something off? I talk about this often. It's a lot of time on the show. If I've written a song, the first people I play it to will be my wife and my daughter, because I know I'll get the honest answer. They'll go, that is fucking rubbish. They'll just tell me straight away. So if you got someone, you're kind of a single guy traveling the country, if you got someone you can play it to, you know you'll get an honest answer. They won't just say, yeah, it's great.
Man, I've got heaps of people I can do that too, which is fantastic. So, it took me a long time to remove the ego from songwriting to just go, because, when you're a younger dude, you show someone something who you love and respect, and you go, what do you think of this? And they go, well, actually. And then
it still hurts.
Rip my heart out with a rusty spoon sort of thing.
Still hurts me.
But now I've realised that that's not a personal attack at me. They just want me to be the best that I can be.
Yeah.
As a songwriter, as a singer, as a guitarist, whatever it might be.
It's still
and even if they throw something at me now, it's just their opinion.
But I also think sometimes it can be a personal attack.
Yeah,
it feels like it when my daughter says stuff to me. When my daughter goes, "Now there's too many do's in that."
No, never.
It's interesting. It's interesting you're talking. It's interesting you talk about how songs take form, because I've spent a lot of time as like a backline stage guy, like kind of a PA or a butler to the musicians in a band. And when you're on the road with a band for like 2 years, and you can see songs start from like the rehearsal room all the way through, start to play demo stage, back out, in sound check, out, and all of a sudden the songs, you can see the song growing in nuance, and once it's been played on the road 30 times, it kind of gets shoehorned and the ends get sliced off. And then other times they walk in, they play it the first time, and you just go, the fuck, what have you done?
Yep.
It's incredible. You just never know.
That is songwriting. So
it's crazy, isn't it?
It is.
I think Tom Petty put it best when it comes to songwriting, and he said, there is a certain type of magic there. And if you tried to understand how it was done, the magic wouldn't be there. Once you know the trick, then there's no mystery, there's no magic. Once you understand how something's done. So, I don't want to know how it's done. I just want to try and do it the best I can.
Aren't they there and you're just grabbing them?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, any combination of notes and melodies already pre-exists in the world. It's not like we're creating something new. Like that combination of stuff already mathematically exists. You know what I mean? So it's just whether you're open to figuring that out and putting some good words to it.
But it's more than that too. It's more than just the notes, and then you've got the lyrics, and then you got
That's
the way
the
it's performed. That's right, and that's the real mystery.
That's the real.
That's the real magic.
So you can hear a great song performed by someone who doesn't feel it, and it's not very good. Then you hear a great song performed by someone who gets it, and you go, "Oh my god!" You know, that's what it's all
get
about.
the heart. Absolutely.
Well, going back to Johnny Cash doing "Hurt," like he took that 9-inch Stars song and turned it into something you'd never heard before in your life.
There's a journey for a song as well,
isn't there?
Now, Chris, one of the first songs you see on your YouTube channel is "A River Somewhere," which is the instrumental, and I really like the description you put to that. Here's an 11-string instrumental of mine for you. I've been playing this one in various forms over the last 20 years, and it's never the same twice.
Very true.
So what you're talking about is encaptured right there in your in that particular song. It's just so. How does it change? Like, to me, being a non-muso, I'm just a punter.
Yep.
I'm thinking there's this lyric sheet, there's this music sheet, and away you go. So are you just playing that as you're feeling it? Like, help me understand that.
Yeah, pretty much. And I've got a few different pieces like that one you're talking about, and they're basically, what mood I'm in at the time and how good the audience is performing back to me as well, because music is that whole loop thing of, you put it out there, they give it back to you. So A River Somewhere is something I've been playing for probably 20 years, I would say. And I've got another one which is a little bit older, and as well, which goes for about 20 minutes, that one, depending on what mood I'm in. 22 minutes, I think the longest it's gone for. And it is actually all composed, and I know exactly what I'm going to do, and when I do it, it's not chance, if that makes sense.
It's not ad-lib. It's not ad-lib.
I mean, there's moments for improvisation, but I know exactly where they're going to be. So most of those things are depending on when and how I'm feeling at the time. So if I'll start it, and if you can feel the audience and the crowd going on that journey with you, then you go, cool, let's see if we can just take this little detour. Okay, you didn't go with me there. Okay, we'll go back to the main road, even though I know there's another really cool detour over there. You guys didn't really like that view, so we're going back this way. So that's
so
what,
cool.
so it's kind of like songwriting on the spot, depending on how you're feeling stuff back from the crowd, those sort of things, which I really love, because it makes you just rely on feel and emotion and that transference between audience and performer. Yeah.
That just reminds me of seeing Tommy Emmanuel doing exactly that.
Yep, he's a legend at it. He's the best at it, like he is.
Could be viewed as the best guitarist in the world, I reckon.
Ah, man, fine. Find me a better acoustic guitarist than Tommy. You know what I mean? I just can't think of anyone who can just go on anything.
Anytime.
Anything. At any time.
But you see him, he'll take you on that journey, and that's what you're saying. Is that you know where you're going, but you're not sure how you're going to get there.
Exactly right, and you're relying on the people around you to help you figure the best way there, you know what I mean? And if you can do that together as performer and audience, you go, oh, no, not that way, not that way, not that way. Oh, cool, now we're on the same road and we're getting to where we need to go. What a beautiful thing that is for everyone, and that's what I love about music.
Yeah.
All right, Chris, so we've been going for almost an hour already, so I am going to have to start winding this up. I mean, I think we've only scratched the surface. So when these new albums come out, mate, we need to get you back.
I bagged Metal Night. What about you?
I got one more question before we
go for it, Braggy. Go for it.
What the fuck is going on with the clip for fools and newcomers?
How good is that? That is so good.
I love it. It reminds me of. Do you ever guys remember? It's a guy called Eric Pritz. He did that song.
Oh yeah. He did a variation of "Take on Me." Yeah. So
Call on Me. Yeah. And it's all the girls in the thing.
Yes. So that was not my where the inspiration for that one came from. So I grew up in the 80s, and so my mum had a love of Jane Fonda workout videos. So I remember being a young fella and seeing my mum in her leotard in the lounge room doing all these things for a Jane Fonda workout video on the VHS.
So did the doctor say, how did that make you feel, Chriso?
I'm still working through that, Rossy. I'm still working through it, and I'll.
It's a great clip, mate.
My therapist asked me not to talk about it publicly. So
good, yeah.
But that was just.
That's good.
I found some people who were willing to fulfill my dream of doing a Jane Fonda workout video for a music song. And they were this beautiful theatrical group from Perth. And I didn't have to be in the video clip, which probably saved a lot of people's eyeballs from seeing me in leotards. So it was a perfect video clip, I reckon.
Mate, I loved it. I just went, what the hell is going on here?
Exactly.
I felt like there was some sort of glitch in the thing. This is playing these songs and the lyrics, and then there's this clip.
Yes.
That's
Yeah,
great,
a
that's great.
flat-out bluegrass rock song with leotard dancing. To
Keep
me, it
doing
makes perfect sense, and that probably says a lot about me, doesn't it?
Keep doing it, mate. Keep doing it.
Absolutely. Bring back the mandolin. How do people follow you and check you out and join the Bring Back the Mandolin
That's it.
movement? Chris?
Mate, I'm on all the usual places: YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, just Chris Matthews Music, double T and Matthews, and there'll be plenty of new music coming out this year. So love to have you along for the journey.
Yeah, absolutely. I am going to ask you one more question, and I normally do something. I think I normally ask about well-being, but I'm pretty confident that that's taken care of. You look after yourself. You're pretty authentic. So I'm going to ask you about that song on the playlist, your favorite playlist on whatever streaming platform you're listening to, that people would be surprised to find.
Oh, geez, there's a lot of them for me, I suspect. But I can tell you, my most number one played song out of everything I've ever played is "The Things We Do for Love" from 10cc.
What a song!
What a great song!
What a song! Come on, find me about a pop song. Find me about.
Yeah. I'm a Graham Goldman guy. I love his songwriting, man. Bus Stop by the Hollies, Shape of Things by the Yardbirds.
So good.
I'm not in love by Graham Goldman.
I got to play a show with those guys about 7 years ago when they were touring Australia. So I was just like, show me how to play this song, because this is one of my favorite songs of all time, and they sat me down and showed me how to play it, and that blew my mind even more, because it's one of the most complicated bloody songs I know how to play.
That was on the album Deceptive Bends, wasn't it? I saw that tour when I was a kid. There were 5cc at the time, because there's only 2 of them left. But they were killer. They were absolutely killer.
Yeah, but there was 4 of them when I saw them, and they still had it going on, man. Like, holy hell, amazing. Wow. Beautiful. So there you go. 10cc. Listen to it, kids. It's good for your health.
Yeah. Listen to old people music. Listen to old people music.
That's it.
As long as they don't turn out to be grumpy old men. All right.
That's it.
Also,
like being in the recording studio.
No, but also listen to young person's music if you're old as well.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, you should. Listen to
young
everything.
People music? There's young people music?
Yeah, I think you know someone who's in a young person's band, mate.
Yeah. All righty. Chris, so it's been awesome having you on. Make sure you say good day to Tom and Laura and Boris. Are you winding your way to Tamworth at this stage, or
we are? Yes. So we've got 2 more weekends before we get to the Tamworth Festival. So we'll get there just after it starts, and then we have our bunch of shows there. Some with Tom, some with Laura, and some of my own, and everything else that the Tamworth Festival entails.
I've got lots of mates up there working. So whereabouts you playing?
My show is at the Long Yard Hotel on the last Sunday of the festival from 10 until 1.
What date's that?
25th, the day before Australia Day.
My very good friends from Star Crazy are playing up there with Dragon of all bands.
Oh yeah, and they're playing at the Long Yard. There you go.
And so the Screaming Jets.
And they're playing at the Long Yard as well. So
shoot me.
The radio. I think the Radiators are playing as well.
Not the Radiators.
No.
Yeah.
They're not country.
No, they're not. But they're good. That's all that matters.
Yeah. They'll have fun, man. They'll have fun at the Long Yard. Sounds like it's going to be the place of pace.
Aren't they from Punch Bowl?
Probably.
No, they're from the South Coast.
Oh,
Wollongong.
Radios. Wow. No, down South Coast, like down sort of Tarfa away.
Oh yeah, right, cool. Yeah, lovely.
Yeah, and now, Chris, just remind, I would love to see you on the red carpet. I reckon that would be a scream on Golden Guitars. So is that a chance?
Well, it happened last year actually, and it wasn't supposed to. But I did end up there, so that may happen again. So yeah.
Well, shout out to the boys.
Funny you should mention that.
If you do happen, I think you'll be forgiven for pointing to the camera and saying shout out to the boys, and don't forget to remind Tom and Laura.
I reckon we can make that happen, Curly. Just quietly, we can do that.
I don't know, fellas.
You may have to remind me, and you might remind me in my adult brain, but we can make this happen.
Do you reckon we should live blog the red carpet?
That's it. Will Chris, Tom, or Laura say?
Curly,
go on, you bastards! Get on here!
Curly, I got it. What you need to do is send every guest we have on one of those shirts. And they can freaking wear them on the red carpet.
That'll mean I have to wear sleeves.
No, we're just going to cut off one for you, mate.
In all seriousness, I actually really hope Tom wins Golden Guitar Album.
He deserves it. So much work. Bloody deserves it. Yep,
absolutely. All righty. As I said, Chris, all your links will be in our show notes. It's been awesome having you here. We have got a jam-packed next couple of weeks. We've got artists from Canada coming on. We've got alternative non-country artist from Nashville who's got some music coming out towards the end of the month. We've got Star Crazy that are joining us with the release of their new single. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Rossi.
Haven't we got a rapper?
Yeah.
February,
Yeah.
we've got a row. It's all happening. So
All going on.
once I get organised, I'll be able to schedule them in.
That's great, man.
That's
Yeah,
good, Kelly.
we've got a fairly busy sort of a couple of months, but as everyone knows, we sort of don't pigeonhole into any niche. We just love music. So if you have loved what you heard, hit follow, share. Chris O's music will be joining us on our Spotify and YouTube and Amazon and Apple playlists. More artists, more stories, more reasons to listen. You've been listening to Unfiltered and Undiscovered, and we will see you all again next week. Once again, thanks, Chris O. We'll talk soon.
Thank you. Cheers, Bob.
Record, turn it up, sing a simple melody. It's a simple little thing that you can't complicate. A smile is a curve that'll set it all straight. Keep a little hope in your pocket, carry it around. Keep a little hope in your pocket, carry it around. Carry it around.
For this episode of the Unfiltered and Undiscovered podcast. If you've liked what you've heard, please do us a favor. Hit follow, leave a rating, and share it with a mate who needs some new music and a little bit of laughter in their lives. We're all about discovering the songs that actually mean something. So if you're into raw talent, great stories, and music that hits you right in the guts, you're in the right place, and we'd love to see you back again next week. Don't forget our Spotify playlists. Every damn song, every track we've ever talked about, rising female country artists and undiscovered covers. And just now, they're not just available on Spotify. You'll also find them on YouTube Music and Apple Music as well. Now, we will be back next week with more music, more stories, and probably some more arguments. But that's what keeps us unfiltered. We'll see you next week.